and we're going to give you the breakdown on this particular visual novel, the game Project Passion. As for the gameplay, we're going to be giving this a 6 out of 10. So, the reason why I give it a 6 out of 10 is because it's one of those where the plot is great, but it's very linear. The originality for this, we are giving a 7 out of 10 because the story is somewhat unique. It's still sci fi, it still has all of the normal sci fi tropes that you would expect from the sci fi game. Now, replayability, unfortunately, is going to be a 3 out of 10, and that is because it is a very specific game where your choices don't necessarily matter and it goes in one specific direction. The type of game is it's linear, so there is no breaking off into different places. There's no sandbox, no anything like that. It's all very much a specific direction that you go. And then, of course, choices matter. They do not, but they do add flavor. So when you choose a specific response, you will get a response to that specific choice back, but it does not change the story. Adult to story percentage, I'm going with 20% adult, 80% story, specifically because there are sex scenes and they do happen often enough, but there is a lot of story that you experience. Animation. So for animation, yes, there is partial animation for most of the sex scenes, if not all of them, and then some animation that they put in for added flavor for the story itself. Character look, specifically for this, it's Renpi, so it's a lot of the design you get out of a lot of the adult visual novels. So it's going to be very similar to those. Overall, I give this a 7 out of 10, specifically because I enjoyed the story. The story is somewhat unique. There are a lot of good aspects to it. The big thing I will say about Project Passion is that the characters are fairly unique. As I had stated earlier, there are some sci fi tropes that you deal with often. Having an android, for example, or a very what is potentially smart alecky type of main character. The main character is male. There is no choosing female. Immediately you start out in a sex scene, which, I mean, not necessarily a bad thing, but for adult visual novels, that's kind of a trope for what a lot of people go for. You have the spaceship, you have the poor down on their luck main character who just happens to have a potentially rich best friend. In this case, best friend is a female, which is also another potential trope that they like to use in sci-fi novels. Different races, so that's actually nice. I would prefer it not to just be human. This is sci-fi, right? This is potentially going into outer space, colonizing different planets. Earth is no more that you get from the first episode. And so it's one of those where there are a lot of good tropes that they have added, or at least that they adopted for this novel. But the story itself is unique because of what the main character and his friends are looking for. And they're looking for an amulet that they want to keep from this evil corporation, the SAC or SAC, their hands. And it was stolen from the main character, so he needs to go get it. So, interesting story. Additionally, one thing that I do like about this game is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not overly dramatic. There are instances of humility, humor, There are enough times where you can just hear the main character or his friends being very contrarian just for fun. Unfortunately, in the first episode, it did go a bit too far into the number of times that it was trying to be humorous. But throughout the game, it's more onesie twosie, and it does actually add its serious aspect to it, at least from the end of the game that was released. We know there's more chapters coming. We just don't know when we'll get that second episode. But overall, it's the reason I gave it a 7 out of 10. So, hope you enjoyed this review. If you would like to know something more specific about the game, you can drop a comment. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you liked what you saw. Once this is posted, not too long after that, I will be posting an actual gameplay of Project Passion. That is all that I have. I hope you all have a good day, and I will talk to you again in the next video.